The second Sefer of the prophet Ezra, the son of Serayahu, the son of Azariahu, the son of Hilkiyahu, the son of Shallum, the son of Tzadok, the son of Achivtuv, the son of Avishua, the son of Pinyachak, the son of Eli, the son of Amarayahu, the son of Azariahu, the son of Merayot, the son of Buki, the son of Avishua, the son of Pinyachak, the son of Al-Azar, the son of Aaron of the tribe of Levi, which was captive in the land of Madai, in the reign of Artaxerxes, king of the Persians. And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Go your way, and show my people their sinful deeds, and their children their wickedness, which they have done against me, that they may tell their children's children, because the sins of their fathers are increased in them. For they have forgotten me, and have offered unto strange Elohim. Am not I, even he, that brought them out of the land of Mitzrayim, from the house of bondage? But they have provoked me unto wrath, and despised my counsels. Pull off then the hair of your head, and cast all evil upon them, for they have not been obedient unto my Torah, but it is a rebellious people. How long shall I forbear them, into whom I have done so much good? Many kings have I destroyed for their sakes. Pharaoh with his servants and all his power I have smitten down. All the nations have I destroyed before them, and in the east I have scattered the people of 2 provinces, even of Tsor and of Sidon, and have slain all their enemies. Speak therefore unto them, saying, Thus says Yahweh, I led you through the sea, and in the beginning gave you a large and safe passage. I gave you Moshe for a leader, and Aaron for a priest. I gave you light in a pillar of fire, and a great wonders I have done among you. Yet have you forgotten me, says Yahweh. Thus says El Shaddai, Yahweh, the quails were assigned to you. I gave you tents for your safeguard. Nevertheless, you murmured there, and triumphed not in my name for the destruction of your enemies, but ever to this day do you yet murmur. Where are the benefits that I have done for you? When you were hungry and thirsty in the wilderness, did you not cry unto me, saying, Why have you brought us into this wilderness to kill us? It has been better for us to have served the Mitzrayim than to die in this wilderness. Then had I pity upon your mournings, and gave you manna to eat. So you did eat angels' bread. When you were thirsty, did I not cleave the rock, and waters flowed out to your full? For the heat I covered you with the leaves of the trees. I divided among you a fruitful land. I cast out the Kenanim, the Perizim, the Pelishatim before you. What shall I yet do more for you, says Yahweh? Thus says El Shaddai, Yahweh, when you were in the wilderness, in the river of the Emorim, being athirst and blaspheming my name, I gave you not fire for your blasphemies, but cast a tree into the water and made the river sweet. What shall I do unto you, O Yaakov? You, Yehuda, would not obey me. I will turn me to other nations, and unto those will I give my name, that they may guard my statutes. Seeing you have forgotten me, I will forsake you also. when you desire me to be gracious unto you, I shall have no mercy upon you. Whensoever you shall call upon me, I will not hear you, for you have defiled your hands with blood, and your feet are swift to commit manslaughter. You have not, as it were, forsaken me, but your own selves, says Yahweh. Thus says El Shaddai Yahweh. Have I not prayed you as a father his sons, as a mother her daughters, and a nurse her young babes, that you would be my people, and I should be your Elohim? That you would be my children, and I should be your father? I gathered you together as a hen gathers her chickens under her wings. But now, what shall I do unto you? I will cast you out from my face. When you offer unto me, I will turn my face from you. For your solemn feast days, your new moons, and your circumcisions have I forsaken. I sent unto you my servants, the prophets, whom you have taken and slain, and torn their bodies in pieces, whose blood I will require of your hands, says Yahweh. Thus says El Shaddai Yahweh, your house is desolate. I will cast you out as the wind does stubble, and your children shall not be fruitful, for they have despised my commandment, and done the things that is an evil before me. Your houses will I give to a people that shall come, which not having heard of me, yet shall believe me, to whom I have showed no signs, yet they shall do the things that I command them. They have seen no prophets, yet they shall call their sins to remembrance and acknowledge them. I take to witnesses the grace of the people to come, whose little ones rejoice in gladness, and though they have not seen me with bodily eyes, yet in the Ruach they believe the thing that I say. And now, brother, behold what glory, and see the people that come from the east, unto whom I will give for leaders Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, Husha, Amok, and Meakayahu, Yoel, Ovayahu, and Yonah, Nahum, and Shabakuch, Sephanyahu, Chachai, Zachariahu, and Malachi, which is called also an angel of Yahweh. Thus says Yahweh, I brought this people out of bondage, and I gave them my commandments by men servants, the prophets, whom they would not hear, but despised my counsel. The mother that bore them says unto them, Go your way, you children, for I am a widow and forsaken. I brought you up with gladness, but with sorrow and heaviness have I lost you. For you have sinned before Yahweh Elohim, and done that thing that is evil before him. But what shall I do now unto you? I am a widow and forsaken. Go your way, O my children, and ask mercy of Yahweh. As for me, O Father, I call upon you for a witness over the mother of these children, which would not guard my covenant, that you would bring them to confusion, and their mother to a spoil, that there may be no offspring of them. Let them be scattered abroad among the heathen. Let their names be put out of the earth, for they have despised my covenant. Woe be unto you, Ashur, you that hide the unrighteous in you. O you wicked people, remember what I did unto Sedom and Amorah, whose land lies in clods of pitch and heaps of ashes. Even so also will I do unto them that hear me not, says El Shaddai Yahweh. Thus says Yahweh to Ezra, Tell my people that I will give them the kingdom of Yeshurulaim, which I would have given them unto Yasharel. Their glory also will I take unto me, and give these the everlasting tabernacles, which I had prepared for them. They shall have the tree of life for an ointment of sweet savour. They shall neither labor nor be weary. Go, and you shall receive. Pray for few days unto you, that they may be shortened. The kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch. Take heaven and earth to witness, for I have broken the evil in pieces and created the good. For I live, says Yahweh. Mother, embrace your children and bring them up with gladness. Make their feet as fast as a pillar, for I have chosen you, says Yahweh. And those that be dead will I raise up again from their places and bring them out of the graves, for I have known my name in Yasharel. Fear not, you mother of the children, for I have chosen you, says Yahweh. For your help will I send my servants, Esau and Yirmeyahu, after whose counsel I have sanctified and prepared for you 12 trees laden with diverse fruits, and as many fountains flowing with milk and honey, and 7 mighty mountains, whereupon there grow roses and lilies, whereby I will fill your children with joy. Do right to the widow, judge for the fatherless, give to the poor, defend the orphan, clothe the naked, heal the broken and the weak, laugh not a lame man to scorn, defend the maimed, and let the blind man come unto the sight of my clearness. Keep the old and young within your walls. Wheresoever you find the dead, take them and bury them, and I will give you the first place in my resurrection. Abide still, O my people, and take your rest, for your quietness still come. Nourish your children, O good nurse, establish their feet. As for the servants who I am given you, there shall not one of them perish, for I will require them from among your number. Be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness comes, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but you shall be merry and have abundance. The heathen shall envy you, but they shall be able to do nothing against you, says Yahweh. My hand shall cover you, so that your children shall not see Sheol. Be joyful, O mother, with your children, for I will deliver you, says Yahweh. Remember your children that sleep, for I shall bring them out of the sides of the earth, and show mercy unto them, for I am merciful, says Yahweh Sevaot. Embrace your children until I come and show mercy unto them, for my wells run over, and my grace shall not fail. I, Ezra, received a charge of Yahweh upon Mount Oreb, that I should go unto Yasharel. But when I came unto them, they set me at naught, and despised the commandment of Yahweh. And therefore I say unto you, O you heathen, that hear and understand, look for your shepherd. He shall give you everlasting rest. For he is nigh at hand, that shall come in the end of the world. Be ready to the reward of the kingdom, for the everlasting light shall shine upon you forevermore. Flee the shadow of this world. Receive the joyfulness of your glory. I testify my Savior openly. O receive the gift that is given you, and be glad, giving thanks unto him that has led you to the heavenly kingdom. Arise up and stand. Behold the number of those that be sealed in the feast of Yahweh, which are departed from the shadow of the world, and have received glorious garments of Yahweh. Take your number, O Zion, are clothed in white, which have fulfilled the Torah of Yahweh. The number of your children, whom you longed for, is fulfilled. Beseech the power of Yahweh, that your people, which have been called from the beginning, may be hallowed. I, Ezra, saw upon Mount Zion a great people, whom I could not number, and they all praised Yahweh with songs. And in the midst of them there was a young man of high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing, and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of Elohim. Now are they crowned, and receive palms. Then said I to the angel, What young person is that crowns them and gives them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of Elohim, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of Yahweh. Then the angel said unto me, Go your way, and tell my people what manner of things, and how great wonders of Yahweh Eloheka you have seen. In the 30th year after the ruin of the city, I was in Babel, and lay troubled upon my bed, and my thoughts came up over my heart. For I saw the desolation of Zion, and the wealth of them that dwelt in Babel. And my ruach was sore moved, so that I began to speak words full of fear to El Elyon, and said, O Yahweh Adonai, you spoke at the beginning, when you did plant the earth, and that by yourself alone, and commanded the people, and gave a body unto Adam without soul, which was the workmanship of your hands, and did breathe into him the breath of life, and he was made living before you. And you led him into paradise, which your right hand had planted, before ever the earth came forward. And unto him you gave commandment to love your way, which he transgressed, and immediately you appointed death in him, and in his generations, of whom came nations, tribes, people, and kindreds out of number. And every people walked after their own will, and did wonderful things before you, and despised your commandments. And again, in process of time, you brought the flood upon those that dwelt in the world, and destroyed them. And it came to pass in every one of them, that as death was to Adam, so was the flood to these. Nevertheless, one of them you left, namely Noah, with his household, of whom came all righteous men. And it happened that when they dwelt upon the earth, began to multiply, and had gotten them many children, and were a great people, they began again to be more wicked than the first. Now when they lived so wickedly before you, you did choose you a man from among them, whose name was Abraham. Him you loved, and unto him only you showed your will, and made an everlasting covenant with him, promising him that you would never forsake his seed. And unto him you gave Yitzchak, and unto Yitzchak also you gave Yaakov and Esau. As for Yaakov, you did choose him to you, and put by Esau, and so Yaakov became a great multitude. And it came to pass that when you led his seed out of Mizraim, you brought them up to the Mount Sinai. And bowing the heavens, you did set fast the earth, moved the whole world, and made the depths to tremble, and troubled the men of that age. And your glory went through 4 gates of fire, and of earthquake, and of wind, and of cold, that you might give the Torah unto the seed of Yaakov, and diligence unto the generation of Yasharel. And yet took you not away from them a wicked heart, that your Torah might bring forth fruit in them. For the first Adam, bearing a wicked heart, transgressed, and was overcome, and so be all they that are born of him. Thus infirmity was made permanent, and the Torah also in the heart of the people, with the malignity of root, so that the good departed away, and the evil abode still. So the times passed away, and the years were brought up an end. Then did you raise up a servant called David, whom you commanded to build a city unto your name, and to offer incense and oblations unto you therein. When this was done many years, then they that inhabited the city forsook you. And in all things that even as Adam and all his generations had done, for they also had a wicked heart. And so you gave your city over into the hands of your enemies. Are their deeds then any better that inhabit Babel, that they should therefore have the dominion over Zion? For when I came thither, and had seen impieties without number, then my soul saw many evildoers in this 30th year, so that my heart failed me. For I have seen how you suffer them sinning, and have spared wicked doers, and have destroyed your people, and have preserved your enemies, and have not signified it. I do not remember how this way may be left. Are they then of Babel better than they of Zion? Or is there any other people that knows you besides Yasharel? Or what generation has so believed your commandments as Yaakov? And yet their reward appears not, and their labor has no fruit. For I have gone here and there through the heathen, and I see that they flow in wealth, and think not upon your commandments. Weigh therefore our wickedness now in the balance, and theirs also that dwell the world. And so shall your name nowhere be found, but in Yasharel. Or when was it that they which dwell upon the earth have not sinned in your sight? Or what people have kept your commandments? You shall find that Yasharel by name has kept your precepts, but not the heathen. And the angel that was sent unto me, whose name was Uriel, gave me an answer and said, your heart has gone too far in this world, and think you to comprehend the way of El Elyon? Then I said, yea, my Adonai. And he answered me and said, I am sent to show you 3 ways, and to set forth 3 similitudes before you, whereof if you can declare me one, I will show you also the way that you desire to see. And I shall show you from whence the wicked heart comes. And I said, tell on, my Adonai. And said he unto me, go your way, weigh me the weight of the fire, or the measure of the blast of the wind, or call me again the day that is past. Then answered I and said, what man is able to do that, that you should ask such things of me? And he said unto me, if I should ask you how great dwellings are in the midst of the sea, or how many springs are in the beginning of the deep, or how many springs are above the expanse, or which are the outgoings of paradise. Perchance you would say unto me, I never went down into the deep, nor as yet into Sheol, neither did I ever climb up into heaven. Nevertheless, now have I asked you, but only the fire and the wind and of the day, wherethrough you have passed, and of things which you cannot be separated, and yet can you give me no answer of them? He said moreover unto me, your own things, and such as are grown up with you, can you not know? How should your vessel then be able to comprehend the way of El Elyon, and the world being now outwardly corrupted, to understand the corruption that is evident in my sight? Then said I unto him, it were better that we were not at all, than that we should live still in wickedness, and to suffer, and not to know wherefore. He answered me and said, I went into a forest, into a plain, and the trees took counsel, and said, come, let us go and make war against the sea, that it may depart away before us, and that we may make us more woods. The floods of the sea also came in like manner, took counsel, and said, come, let us go up and subdue the woods of the plain, that there also we may make us another country. The thought of the wood was in vain, for the fire came and consumed it. The thought of the floods of the sea came likewise to naught, for the sand stood up and stopped them. If you were judge now betwixt these two, whom would you begin to justify? Or whom would you condemn? I answered and said, truly it is a foolish thought that they both have devised, for the ground is given unto the wood, and the sea also has his place to bear his floods. Then answered he me and said, you have given a right judgment, but why judge you not yourself also? For like as the ground is given unto the wood, and the sea to his floods, even so they that dwell upon the earth may understand nothing but that which is upon the earth. And he that dwells above the heavens may only understand the things that are above the height of the heavens. Then answered I and said, I beseech you, O Yahweh, let me have understanding. For it was not my mind to be curious of the high things, but of such as pass by us daily, namely, wherefore Yasharel is given up as a reproach to the heathen. For what cause the people whom you have loved is given over unto wicked nations, and why the Torah of our forefathers is brought to naught, and the written covenants come to no effect, and we pass away out of the world as grasshoppers, and our life is astonishment and fear, and we are not worthy to obtain mercy. What will he then do unto his name, whereby we are called? Of these things have I asked. Then answered he me and said, the more you search, the more you shall marvel. For the world hastens fast to pass away, and cannot comprehend the things that are promised to the righteous in time to come. For this world is full of unrighteousness and infirmities. But as concerning the things whereof you ask me, I will tell you. For the evil is sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come. If therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good. For the grain of evil seed has been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning, and how much the wickedness has it brought up unto this time, and how much shall it yet bring forth until the time of threshing come? Ponder now by yourself how great fruit of wickedness the grain of evil seed has brought forth. And when the ears shall be sown, which are without number, how great a floor shall they fill? Then I answered and said, how and when shall these things come to pass? Wherefore are our years few and evil? And he said unto me, saying, do not you hasten above El Elyon, for your haste is in vain to be above him, for you have much exceeded. Did not the souls also of the righteous ask question of these things in their chambers, saying, how long shall I hope on this fashion? When comes the fruit of the floor of our reward? And unto these things Uriel the archangel gave them answer and said, even when the number of seeds is filled in you, for he has weighed the world in a balance. By measure has he measured the times, and by number has he numbered the times, and he does not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. Then answered I and said, O Yahweh Adonai, we are all full of sin, and for our sakes perchance it is that the floors of the righteous are not filled, because of the sins of them that dwell upon the earth. So he answered me and said, go your way to a woman with child, and ask of her, when she has fulfilled her 9 months, if her womb may keep the birth any longer within her. Then said I, no, Adonai, that can she not. And he said unto me, in Sheol the chambers of souls are like the womb of a woman, for like as a woman that travails makes haste to escape the necessity of the travail, even so do these places hasten to deliver those things that are committed unto them. From the beginning, look, what you desire to see, it shall be showed you. Then answered I and said, if I have found favor in your sight, and if it be possible, and if I be meet therefore, show me then whether there be more to come than is past, or more past than is to come. What is past I may know, but what is for to come I know not. And he said unto me, stand up upon the right side, and I shall expound the similitude unto you. So I stood and saw, and behold, a hot burning oven passed by before me. And it happened that when the flame was gone by, I looked, and behold, the smoke remained still. After this there passed by before me a watery cloud, and sent down much rain with a storm. And when the stormy rain was past, the drops remained still. Then said he unto me, consider with yourself, as the rain is more than the drops, and as the fire is greater than the smoke, but the drops and the smoke remain behind. So the quantity which is past did more exceed. Then I prayed and said, may I live, do you think, until that time? Or what shall happen in those days? He answered me and said, as for the tokens whereof you ask me, I may tell you of them in part, but as touching your life, I am not sent to show you, for I do not know it. Nevertheless, as coming the tokens, Behold, the days shall come, that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of belief. But iniquity shall be increased above that which now you see, or that you have heard long ago. And the land that you see now to have root, shall you see wasted suddenly. But if El Elyon grant you to live, you shall see after the third shofar that the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night, and the moon thrice in the day. And blood shall drop out of wood, and the stone shall give his voice, and the people shall be troubled, and even he shall rule whom they look not for that dwell upon the earth, and the fowls shall take their flight away together. And the Sidonish sea shall cast out the fish, and make a noise in the night, which many have not known, but they shall all hear the voice thereof. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters, and salt waters shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into its secret chamber, and shall be sought of many, and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied upon the earth. One land also shall ask another and say, Is righteousness that makes a man righteous gone through you? And it shall say, No. At the same time shall men hope, but nothing obtain. They shall labor, but their ways shall not prosper. To show you such tokens, I have leave, and if you will pray again, and weep as now, and fast even days, you shall hear great things. Then I awoke, and an extreme fearfulness went through all my body, and my mind was troubled, so that it fainted. So the angel that was come to talk with me helped me, comforted me, and set me up upon my feet. And in the second night it came to pass that Shealtiel, the captain of the people, came unto me, saying, Where have you been? And why is your countenance so heavy? Know you not that Yasharel is committed unto you in the land of their captivity? Up then, and eat bread, and forsake us not, as the shepherd that leaves his flock in the hands of the cruel wolves. Then said I unto him, Go your ways from me, and come not nigh. And he heard what I said, and went from me. And so I fasted 7 days, mourning, weeping, like as Uriel the angel commanded me. And after 7 days so it was, that the thoughts of my heart were very grievous unto me, and my soul recovered the Ruach Bina. And I began to talk with El Elyon again, and said, O Yahweh Adonai, of every wood of the earth, and of all the trees thereof, you have chosen only vine, and of all the lands of the world, you have chosen one pit, and of all the flowers thereof, one lily, and of all the depths of the sea, you have filled one river. And of all built cities, you have hallowed Zion unto yourself. And of all the fowls that are created, you have named one dove. And of all the cattle that are made, multitudes of people, you have gotten one people. And unto this people, whom you loved, you gave one Torah, that is approved of all. And now, O Yahweh, Why have you given this one people over unto many? And upon the one root have you prepared others? And why have you scattered your only one people among many? And they which did gainsay your promises, and believed not your covenants, have trodden them down. If you did so much hate your people, yet should you punish them with your own hands. Now, when I had spoken these words, the angel that came to me the night afore was sent unto me, and said unto me, Hear me, and I will instruct you. Hearken to the things that I say, and I shall tell you more. And I said, Speak on, my Adonai. Then said he unto me, You are sore troubled in mind for Yasharel's sake. Love you that people better he than that made them? And I said, No, Adonai, but of very grief have I spoken, for my mind pains me every hour, while I labor to comprehend the way of El Elyon, and to seek out part of his judgment. And he said unto me, You cannot. And I said, Wherefore, Adonai? Whereunto was I born then? Or why was not my mother's womb then my grave, that I might not have seen the travail of Yaakov, and the wearisome toil of the stock of Yasharel? And he said unto me, Number me the things that are not yet come, gather me together the dross that are scattered abroad, and make me the flowers green again that are withered. Open me the places that are closed, and bring me forth the winds that are in them that are shut up. Show me the image of a voice, and then will I declare to you the thing. Nevertheless, as coming the tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of belief. But iniquity shall be increased above that which now you see, or that you have heard long ago. And the land that you see now to have root shall you see wasted away suddenly. But if El Elyon grant you to live, you shall see after the third shofar that the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night, and the moon thrice in the day, and blood shall drop out of wood, and the stone shall give his voice, and the people shall be troubled, and even he shall rule, whom they look not for that dwell upon the earth. And the fowls shall take their flight away together, and the Sidonish sea shall cast out the fish, and make a noise in the night, which many have not known, but they shall all hear the voice thereof. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters, and salt waters shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into his secret chamber, and shall be sought of by many, and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied upon the earth. One land also shall ask another and say, Is righteousness that makes a man righteous gone through you? And it shall say, No. At the same time shall men hope, but nothing obtain. They shall labor, but their ways shall not prosper. To show you such tokens, I have leave, and if you will pray again, and weep as now, and fast even 7 days, you shall hear yet greater things. Then I awoke, and an extreme fearfulness went through all my body, and my mind was troubled, so that it fainted. So the angel that was come to talk with me helped me, comforted me, and set me up upon my feet. And in the second night it came to pass that Shealtiel, the captain of the people, came unto me, saying, Where have you been? And why is your countenance so heavy? Know you not that Yasharel is committed unto you in the land of their captivity? Up then, and eat bread, and forsake us not, as the shepherd that leaves his flock in the hands of cruel wolves. Then I said unto him, Go your ways from me, and come not nigh me. And he heard what I said, and he went from me. And so I fasted, like as Uriel the angel commanded me. And after 7 days, so it was, that the thoughts of my heart were very grievous unto me, and my soul recovered the Ruach Bina. And I began to talk with El-Elyon again, and said, O Yahweh Adonai, of every wood of the earth, and of all the trees thereof, you have chosen only one vine, and of all the lands of the whole world, you have chosen one pit, and of all the flowers thereof, one lily, and of all the depths of the sea, you have filled one river, and of all built cities, you have hallowed Zion unto yourself, and of all the fowls that are created, you have named one dove, and of all the cattle that are made, you have provided one sheep. And among all the multitudes of the people, you have gotten one people, and unto this people whom you love, that is approved of all. And now, O Yahweh, why have you given this one people over unto many? And upon the one root have you prepared others? And why have you scattered your only one people among many? And they which did gainsay your promises, and believed not your covenants, have trodden them down. And if you did so much hate your people, yet should you punish them with your own hands. Now when I had spoken these words, the angel that came to me the night afore was sent unto me, and said unto me, Hear me, and I will instruct you. Hearken to the thing that I say, and I shall tell you more. And I said, Speak on, my Adonai. Then he said unto me, You are sore troubled in mind, for Yasharel's sake. Love you that people better than he that made them? And I said, No, Adonai, but of very grief I have spoken, for my mind pains me every hour, while I labor to comprehend the way of El-Elyon, and to seek out part of his judgment. And he said unto me, You cannot. And I said, Wherefore, Adonai? Whereunto was I born then? Or why was not my mother's womb then my grave, that I might not have seen the travail of Yaakov, and the wearisome toil of the stock of Yasharel? And he said unto me, Number me the things that are not yet come. Gather me together the dross that are scattered abroad. Make me the flowers green again that are withered. Open me the places that are closed, and bring me forth the winds that in them are shut up. Show me the image of a voice, and then I will declare to you the thing that you labor to know. And I said, O Yahweh Adonai, who may know these things, but he that has not his dwelling with men? As for me, I am unwise. How may I then speak of these things whereof you ask me? Then said he unto me, like as you can do none of these things that I have spoken of, even so can you not find out my judgment, or in the end the love that I have promised unto my people. And I said, Behold, O Yahweh, yet are you nigh unto them that be reserved till the end. And what shall they do that have been before me, or we that be now, or they that shall come after us? And he said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a ring. Like as there is no slackness of the last, even so there is no swiftness of the first. So I answered and said, Could you not make those that have been made, and be now, and that are for to come, at once, that you might show your judgment the sooner? Then answered he me and said, The creature may not haste above the Maker, neither may the world hold them at once that shall be created therein. And I said, As you have said unto your servant, that you, which give life to all, have given life at once to the creature that you have created, and the creature bore it, even so it might now also bear them that now be present at once. And he said unto me, Ask the womb of a woman, and say unto her, If you bring forth children, why do you not do it together, but one after another? Pray her therefore to bring forth 10 children at once. And I said, She cannot, but must do it by distance of time. Then said he unto me, Even so have I given the womb of the earth to those that be sown in it in their times. For like as a young child may not bring forth the things that belong to the aged, even so I have disposed the world which I created. And I asked and said, Seeing you have now given me the way, I will proceed to speak before you. For our mother, of whom you have told me that she is young, draws now nigh unto age. He answered me and said, Ask a woman that bears children, and she shall tell you. Say unto her, Wherefore unto they whom you have now brought forth, like those that were before, but less of stature? And she shall answer you, They that be born in the strength of youth are of one fashion, and they that are born in the time of age, when the womb fails, are otherwise. Consider therefore how that ye are less of stature than those that were before you, and so are they that come after you less than you. As the creatures which now begin to be old, and have passed over the strength of youth. Then I said, Adonai, I beseech you, if I have found favor in your sight, show your servant by whom you visit your creature. And he said unto me, In the beginning, when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, or even the winds blew, before it thundered and lightened, or even the foundations of paradise were laid, before the fair flowers were seen, or ever the movable powers were established, before the innumerable multitude of angels were gathered together, or ever the heights of the air were lifted up, before the measures of the expanse were named, or ever the chimneys in Zion were hot, and ere the present years were sought out, and or ever the inventions of them that now sin were turned, before they were sealed that have gathered belief of a treasure. Then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone, and I through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that follows? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Yitzchak, when Yaakov and Esau were born of him, Yaakov's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Yaakov is the beginning of it that follows. The hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand. Other question, Ezra, ask you not. I answered then and said, O Yahweh Adonai, if I have found favor in your sight, I beseech you, show your servant the end of your tokens, whereof you showed me part the last night. So he answered and said unto me, stand up upon your feet, and hear a mighty sounding voice, and it shall be as it were a great motion, but the place where you stand shall not be moved. And therefore when it speaks, be not afraid, for the word is of the end, and the foundation of the earth is understood. And why? Because the speech of these things trembles, is moved, for it knows that the end of these things must be changed. And it happened that when I had heard it, I stood up on my feet and hearkened, and behold, there was a voice that spoke, and the sound of it was like the sound of many waters. And it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh, and to visit them that dwell upon the earth, and I will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The seraphim shall be opened before the expanse, and they shall see all together. And the children of a year old shall speak with their voices. The woman with child shall bring forth untimely children of 3 or 4 months old, and they shall live and be raised up. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And the shofar shall, they shall suddenly be afraid. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein, and the springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Whosoever remains from all these that I have told you to escape, and see my Yeshua, and the end of your world, and the men that are received shall see it, who have not tasted death from their birth, and the heart of the inhabitants shall be changed, and turned into another meaning. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for belief, it shall flourish, corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which has been so long without fruit, shall be declared. And when he talked with me, behold, I looked by little and little upon him before whom I stood. And these words said he unto me, I am come to show you the time of the night to come. If you will pray yet more, and fast 7 days again, I shall tell you greater things by day than I have heard. For your voice is heard before El Elyon, for El has seen your righteous dealing, He has also seen your chastity, which you have ever since your youth, and therefore has he sent me to show you all these things, and say unto you, Be of good comfort, and fear not, and hasten not with the times that are past, to think vain things, that you may not hasten from latter times. And it came to pass after this, that I wept again, and fasted 7 days in like manner, that I might fulfill the 3 weeks which he told me. And in the 8th night was my heart vexed within me again, and I began to speak before El Elyon. For my ruach was greatly set on fire, and my soul was in distress, and I said, O Yahweh, you spoke from the beginning of creation, even the first day, and said thus, Let heaven and earth be made, and your word was a perfect work. And then was the ruach, and darkness and silence were on every side. The sound of man's voice was not yet formed. Then commanded you a fair light to come forth of your treasures, that your work might appear. Upon the 2nd day you made the ruach of the expanse, and commanded it to part asunder, and to make division betwixt the waters, and the one part might go up, and the other remain beneath. Upon the 3rd day you did command that the waters should be gathered in the 7th part of the earth. 6 parts have you dried up, and kept them, to the intent that of these some being planted of Elohim and tilled might serve you. For as soon as your word went forth, the work was made. For immediately there was great and innumerable fruit, and many and diverse pleasures for the taste, and flowers of unchangeable color, and odors of wonderful smell. And this was done the 3rd day. Upon the 4th day you commanded that the sun should shine, and the moon give her light, and the stars should be in order, and gave them a charge to do service unto man that was to be made. Upon the 5th day you said unto the 7th part, where the waters were gathered, that it should bring forth living creatures, fowls and fish. And so it came to pass, for the dumb water and without life brought forth living things at the commandment of Elohim, that all people might praise your wondrous works. Then did you ordain 2 living creatures, the one you called Behemoth, and the other Leviathan, and did separate the one from the other. For the 7th part, namely, where the water was gathered together, might not hold them both. Unto Behemoth you gave 1 part, which was dried up the 3rd day, that he should dwell in the same part, wherein are 1,000 hills. But unto Leviathan you gave the 7th part, namely the moist, and have kept him to be devoured, of whom you will, and when. Upon the 6th day you gave commandment unto the earth, that before it should bring forth beasts, cattle, and creeping things, and after these Adam also, whom you made Adonai of all your creatures. Of him come we all, and the people also whom you have chosen. All this have I spoken before you, O Yahweh, because you made the world for our sakes. As for the other nations, which also come of Adam, you have said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and have likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falls from a vessel. And now, O Yahweh, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be Adonim over us, and to devour us. But we, your people, whom you have called your firstborn, your Yachid, and your fervent lover, are given into their hands. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? And when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel, which had been sent unto me the nights before. And he said unto me, Up, Ezra, and hear the words that I am come to tell you. And I said, Speak on, my Elohim. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But put the case, the entrance were narrow, and like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it, and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? There is also another thing. A city is built, and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water, and there is but one path between them, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could not but one man go there at once. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the dangers set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? And I said, It is so, Adonai. Then said he unto me, Even so also is Yasharel's portion, because for their sakes I made the world. And when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done. Then were the entrances of this world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail. They are but few and evil, full of perils, and very painful. For the entrances of the elder world were wide and sure, and brought immortal fruit. If then they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them. Now therefore, why disquiet yourself, seeing you are but a corruptible man? And why are you moved, whereas you are but mortal? Why have you not considered in your mind this thing that is to come, rather than that which is present? Then answered I and said, O Yahweh Adonai, you have ordained in your Torah that the righteous should inherit these things, but that the wicked should perish. Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things, and hope for wide. For they that have done wickedly have suffered the straight things, and yet shall not see the wide. And he said unto me, There is no judge above Elohim, and none that is understanding above El Elyon. For there be many that perish in this life, because they despise the Torah of Elohim that is set before them. For Elohim has given straight commandment to such as came, what they should do to live, even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spoke against him, and imagined vain things, and deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, and said of El Elyon that he is not, and knew not his ways. But his Torah have they despised, and denied his covenants. In his statutes have they not been faithful, and have not performed his works. And therefore Ezra, For the empty are empty things, and for the full are the full things. Behold, the time shall come that these tokens which I have told you shall come to pass, and the bride shall appear, and she coming forth shall be seen, that now is withdrawn from the earth. And whosoever is delivered from the foresaid evils shall see my wonders. For my son Yahusha shall be revealed with those that be with him, and they that remain shall rejoice within 400 years. After these years shall my son Mashiach die, and all men that have life. And the world shall be turned into the old silence 7 days, like as in the former judgments, so that no man shall remain. And after 7 days the world that yet awakens not shall be raised up, and that shall die that is corrupt. And the earth shall restore those that are asleep in her, and so shall the dust those that dwell in silence. And the secret places shall deliver those souls that were committed unto them. And El Elyon shall appear upon the seat of judgment, and misery shall pass away, and the long suffering shall have an end. But judgment only shall remain. Truth shall stand, and belief shall wax strong. And the work shall follow, and the reward shall be showed. And the good deeds shall be of force, and wicked deeds shall bear no rule. Then the pit of the torrent shall appear, and opposite it shall be the place of rest, and the furnace of Sheol shall be disclosed, and opposite it the paradise of delight. Then El Elyon shall say to the nations that have been raised from the dead, look now and understand whom you have denied, whom you have not served, and whose commandments you have despised. Look on this side and on that. Here are delight and rest, and there are fire and torments. Thus he will speak to them on the day of judgment, a day that has no sun or moon or stars, or cloud or thunder or lightning or wind, or water or air, or darkness or evening or morning, or summer or spring or heat, or winter or frost, or cold or hail, or rain or dew, or noon or night, or dawn or shining, or brightness or light, but only the splendor of the glory of El Elyon, by which all shall see what has been determined for them. For it will last for about a week of years. This is my judgment and its prescribed order, and to you alone have I shown these things. I answered and said, O Yahweh Tsevaot, I said then, and I say now, blessed are those who are alive and guard your commandments. But what of those for whom I prayed? For who among the living is there that has not sinned? Or who among men that has not transgressed your covenant? And now I see that the world to come will bring delight to few, but torments to many. For an evil heart has grown up in us, which has alienated us from Elohim, and has brought us into corruption, and the ways of death, and has shown us the paths of perdition, and removed us far from life. And that not just a few of us, but almost all who have been created. He answered me and said, listen to me, Ezra, and I will instruct you, and I will admonish you yet again. For this reason El Elyon has made not one world, but two, For whereas you have said that the righteous are not many but few, while the wicked abound, hear the explanation for this. If you have just a few precious stones, will you add them to lead and clay? I said, Yahweh, how could that be? And he said to me, not only that, but ask the earth, and she will tell you. Defer to her, and she will declare it to you. Say to her, you produce gold and silver and brass, also iron and lead and clay. But silver is more abundant than gold, and brass than silver, and iron than brass, and lead than iron, and clay than lead. Judge therefore which things are precious and desirable, those that are abundant or those that are rare. I said, O Yahweh Tsebaot, what is plentiful is of less worth, but what is more rare is more precious. He answered me and said, weigh within yourself what you have thought. For he who has what is hard to get rejoices more than he who has what is plentiful. So also will be the judgment which I have promised. For I will rejoice over the few who shall be saved, because it is they who have made my glory to prevail now, and through them my name has now been honored. And I will not grieve over the multitude of those who perish, for it is they who are now like a mist and are similar to flame and smoke. They are set on fire and burn hotly and are extinguished. I replied and said, O earth, what have you brought forth? If the mind is made out of the dust like the other created things, for it would have been better if the dust itself had not been born, so that the mind might not have been made from it. But now the mind grows with us, and therefore we are tormented, because we perish and know it. Let mankind lament, but let the beasts of the field be glad. Let all who have been born lament, but let the four-footed beasts and the flocks rejoice. For it is much better with them than with us, for they do not look for a judgment, nor do they know of any torment or Yeshua promised to them after death. For what does it profit us that we shall be preserved alive, but cruelly tormented? For all who have been born are involved in iniquities, and are full of sins, and burdened with transgressions. And if we were not to come into judgment after death, perhaps it would have been better for us. He answered me and said, when Al-Elyon made the world, and Adam and all who have come from him, he first prepared the judgment and the things that pertain to the judgment. And now understand from your own words, for you have said that the mind grows with us. For this reason, therefore, those who dwell on the earth and be tormented, because though they had understanding, they committed iniquity, and though they received the commandments, they did not guard them, and though they obtained the Torah, they dealt unfaithfully with what they received. What then will they have to say in the judgment? Or how will they answer in the last times? For how long the time is that Al-Elyon has been patient with those who inhabit the world, and not for their sake, but because of the times which he has foreordained. I answered and said, if I have found favor in your sight, O Yahweh, show this also to your servant, whether after death, as soon as every one of us yields up his soul, we shall be kept in rest unto those times come when you will renew the creation, or whether we shall be tormented at once. He answered me and said, I will show you that also, but do not be associated with those who have shown scorn, nor number yourself among those who are tormented. For you have a treasure of works laid up with El Elyon, but it will not be shown to you until the last times. Now, concerning death, the teaching is, when the decisive decree has gone forth from El Elyon that a man shall die, as the Ruach leaves the body to return again to him who gave it, first of all, it adores the glory of El Elyon. And if it is one of those who have shown scorn and have not guarded the way of El Elyon, and who have despised his Torah, and who have hated those who fear Elohim, such Ruachot shall not enter into habitations, but shall immediately wander about in torments, ever grieving and sad, in 7 ways. The first way, because they have scorned the Torah of El Elyon. The second way, because they cannot now make a good repentance that they may live. The third way, they shall see the reward laid up for those who have trusted the covenants of El Elyon. The fourth way, they shall consider the torment laid up for themselves in the last days. The fifth way, they shall see how the inhabitations of the others are guarded by angels in profound quiet. The sixth way, they shall see how some of them will pass over into torments. The seventh way, which is worse than all the ways that have been mentioned, because they shall utterly waste away in confusion and be consumed with shame and shall wither with fear at seeing the glory of El Elyon, before whom they have sinned while they were alive, and before whom they are to be judged in the last times. Now this is the order of those who have guarded the ways of El Elyon, when they shall be separated from their mortal body. During the time that they lived in it, they laboriously served El Elyon and withstood danger every hour, that they might guard the Torah of the Torah giver perfectly. Therefore, this is the teaching concerning them. First of all, they shall see with great joy the glory of him who receives them, for they shall have rest in 7 orders. The first order, because they have striven with great effort to overcome the evil thought which was formed with them, that it might not lead them astray from life into death. The second order, because they see the perplexity in which the souls of the wicked wander and the punishment that awaits them. The third order, they see the witness which he who formed them bears concerning them, that while they were alive, they guarded the Torah which was given them in trust. The fourth order, they understand the rest which they now enjoy, being gathered into their chambers and guarded by angels in profound quiet, and the glory which awaits them in the last days. The fifth order, they rejoice that they have now escaped what is corruptible and shall inherit what is to come. And besides, they see the straits and toil from which they have been delivered, and the spacious liberty which they are to receive and enjoy in immortality. The sixth order, when it is shown to them how their face is to shine like the sun, and how they are to be made like the light of the stars, being incorruptible from then on. The seventh order, which is greater than all that have been mentioned, because they shall rejoice with boldness, and shall be confident without confusion, and shall be glad without fear, for they have hastened to behold the face of him whom they served in life, and from whom they are to receive their reward when glorified. This is the order of the souls of the righteous, as henceforth is announced, and the aforesaid are the ways of torment, which those who would not give heed shall suffer hereafter. I answered and said, will time therefore be given to the souls, after they have been separated from the bodies, to see what you have described to me? He said to me, they shall have freedom for 7 days, so that during these 7 days they may see the things of which you have been told, and afterwards they shall be gathered in their habitations. I answered and said, if I have found favor in your sight, show further to me your servant, whether on the day of judgment the righteous will be able to intercede for the wicked, or to pray to El Elyon for them, fathers for sons, or sons for parents, brothers for brothers, relatives for their kinsmen, or friends for those who are most dear. He answered me and said, since you have found favor in my sight, I will show you this also. The day of judgment is decisive and displays to all the seal of truth. Just as now a father does not send his son, or a son his father, or a master his servant, or a friend his dearest friend, to be ill, or sleep, or eat, or be healed in his place, so no one shall ever pray for another on that day, neither shall anyone lay a burden on another. For then everyone shall bear his own righteousness and unrighteousness. Then I said, Abraham prayed first for the inhabitants of Sedom, and Moshe for the fathers that sinned in the wilderness, and Yahushua after him for Yasharel in the time of Akan, and Shemuel and David for the destruction, and Shalomah for them that should come to the sanctuary, and Elihu for those that received rain, and for the dead, that he might live, and Yechezkel for the people in the time of Kanchariv, and many for many. Even so now, seeing corruption is grown up, and wickedness increased, and the righteous have prayed for the wicked, wherefore shall it not be so now also? He answered me and said, this present life is not the end, where much glory abides. Therefore have they prayed for the weak. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of the immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past, intemperance is at an end, infidelity is cut off, righteousness is grown, and truth is sprung up. Then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed, nor to oppress him that has gotten the victory. I answered then and said, this is my first and last saying, that it had been better not to have given the earth unto Adam, or else, when it was given him, to have restrained him from sinning. For what profit is it for men now in this present time to live in heaviness, and after death to look for punishment? O Adam, Adam, what have you done? For though it was you that sinned, you are not fallen alone, but we all that come of you. For what profit is it unto us, if there be promised us an immortal time, whereas we have done the works that bring death, and that there is a promised us an everlasting hope, whereas ourselves, being most wicked, are made vain, and that there are laid up for us dwellings of health and safety, whereas we have lived wickedly? and that the glory of El Elyon is kept to defend them, which has led a weary life, whereas we have walked in the most wicked ways of all. And that there should be showed a paradise, whose fruit endures forever, wherein is security and medicine, since we shall not enter into it. For we have walked in unpleasant places, and that the faces of them which have used abstinence shall shine above the stars, whereas our faces shall be blacker than darkness. For while we lived and committed iniquity, we considered not that we should begin to suffer for it after death. Then he answered me and said, This is the condition of the battle, which man that is born upon the earth shall fight, that if he be overcome, he shall suffer as you have said, but if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say. For this is the life whereof Moshe spoke unto the people while he lived, saying, Choose life, that you may live. Nevertheless, they believed not him, nor yet the prophets after him, no, nor me, which have spoken unto them, that there should not be such heaviness in their destruction, as shall be joy over them that are persuaded to Yeshua. I answered then and said, I know, Yahweh, that El Elyon is called merciful, in that he has mercy upon them which are not yet come into the world, and upon those also that turn to his Torah, and that he is patient, and long suffers those that have sinned, as his creatures, and that he is bountiful, for he is ready to give where it needs, and that he is of great mercy, for he multiplies more and more mercies to them that are present, and that are past, and also to them which are to come. For if he shall not multiply his mercies, the world would not continue with them that inherit therein. And he pardons, for if he did not so of his goodness, that they which have committed iniquities might be eased of them, the 10,000th part of men should not remain living. And being judge, if he should not forgive them that are cured with his word, and put out the multitude of contentions, there should be very few left perchance in an innumerable multitude. And he answered me, saying, El Elyon has made this world for many, but the world to come for few. I will tell you a similitude, Ezra, as when you ask the earth, it shall say unto you that it gives much mold, whereof earthen vessels are made, but little dust that gold comes of. Even so is the course of this present world. There be many created, but few shall be saved. So I answered and said, Swallow then down, O my soul, understanding, and devour wisdom. For you have agreed to give ear, and are willing to prophesy, for you have no longer space than only to live. O Yahweh, if you suffer not your servant, that we may pray before you, and give us seed unto our heart, and culture to our understanding, that there may come fruit thereof it, how shall each man live that is corrupt, who bears the place of a man? For you are alone, and we all one workmanship of your hands, like as you have said. For when the body is fashioned now in the mother's womb, and you give it members, your creature is preserved in fire and water, and 9 months your workmanship endures your creature, which is created in her. But that which keeps and is kept shall both be preserved, and when the time comes, the womb preserved delivers up the things that grew in it. For you have commanded out of the parts of the body, that is to say, out of the breasts, milk to be given, which is the fruit of the breasts, that the thing which is fashioned may be nourished for a time, till you dispose it to your mercy. You brought it up with your righteousness, and nurtured it in your Torah, and reformed it with your judgment, and you shall mortify it as your creature, and quicken it as your work. If therefore you shall destroy him which with so great labor was fashioned, it is an easy thing to be ordained by your commandment, that the thing which was made might be preserved. Now therefore, Yahweh, I will speak, touching man in general, you know best, but touching your people, for whose sake I am sorry, and for your inheritance, for whose cause I mourn, and for Yasharel, for whom I am heavy, and for Yaakov, for whose sake I am troubled. Therefore will I begin to pray before you for myself and for them, for I see the falls of us that dwell in the land. But I have heard the swiftness of the judge which is to come. Therefore hear my voice and understand my words, and I shall speak before you. This is the beginning of the words of Ezra, before he was taken up. And I said, O Yahweh, you that dwell in everlastingness, which behold from above things in the heaven and in the air, whose throne is intimable, whose glory may not be comprehended, before whom the hosts of angels stand with trembling, whose service is conversant in wind and fire, whose word is true and sayings constant, whose commandment is strong and ordinance fearful, whose look dries up the depths, and indignation makes the mountains to melt away, which the truth witnesses. O hear the prayer of your servant, and give ear to the petition of your creature. For while I live, I will speak, and so long as I have understanding, I will answer. O look not upon the sins of your people, but on them which serve you in truth. Regard not the wicked inventions of the heathen, but the desire of those that guard your testimonies in afflictions. Think not upon those that have walked feignedly before you, but remember them, which according to your will have known your fear. Let it not be your will to destroy them which have lived like beasts, but to look upon them that have clearly taught your Torah. Take no indignation at them which are deemed worse than the beasts, but love them that always put their trust in your righteousness and glory. For we and our fathers do languish of such diseases, but because of us sinners, you shall be called merciful. And if you have a desire to have mercy upon us, you shall be called merciful, to us namely, that have no works of righteousness. But for the just, which have many good works laid up with you, shall out of their own deeds receive reward. For what is man, that you should take displeasure at him? Or what is a corruptible generation, that you should be so bitter toward it? For in truth there is no man among them that be born, but he has dealt wickedly, and among the faithful there is none which has not done amiss. For in this, O Yahweh, your righteousness and your goodness shall be declared, if you be merciful unto them which have not the confidence of good works. Then answered he me and said, some things have you spoken aright, and according to your words it shall be. For indeed, I will not think on the disposition of them which have sinned before death, before judgment, before destruction. But I will rejoice over the disposition of the righteous, and I will remember also their pilgrimage, and the Yeshua and the reward that they shall have. Like as I have spoken now, so shall it come to pass. For as the husbandman sows much seed upon the ground, and plants many trees, and yet the thing that is sown, good in its season, comes not up, neither does all that is planted take root. Even so, it is of them that are sown in the world. They shall not all be saved. I answered then and said, if I have found grace, let me speak. Like as the husbandman's seed perishes, if it not come up, and receive not your rain in due season, or if there come too much rain, and corrupt it, even so perishes man also, which is formed with your hands, and is called your own image, because you are like unto him, for whose sake you have made all things, and likened him unto the husbandman's seed. Be not wroth with us, but spare your people, and have mercy upon your own inheritance. For you are merciful unto your creature. Then answered he and said, things present are for the present, and the things to come for such as be to come. For you come far short, that you should be able to love my creature more than I. But I have oft times drawn nigh to you, and unto it, but never to the unrighteous. In this also you are marvelous before El Elyon, in that you have humbled yourself, as it becomes you, and have not judged yourself worthy to be much glorified among the righteous. For many great misery shall be done to them that on the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. But understand for yourself, and seek out the glory, for such as be like you. For unto you is paradise opened, the tree of life is planted, the time to come is prepared. Plenteousness is made ready, a city is built, and rest is allowed, yea, perfect goodness and wisdom. The root of evil is sealed up from you, weakness and the moth is hid from you, and corruption is fled into Sheol to be forgotten. Sorrows are past, and in the end is showed the treasure of immortality. And therefore ask no more questions concerning the multitude of them that perish. For when they had taken liberty, they despised El Elyon, thought scorn of his Torah, and forsook his ways. Moreover, they have trodden down his righteous, and said in their hearts that there is no Elohim, yea, and that knowing they must die. For as the things aforesaid shall receive you, so thirst and pain are prepared for them. For it was not his will that men should come to naught, but they which be created have defiled the name of him that made them, and were unthankful unto him which prepared life for them. And therefore is my judgment now at hand. These things have I not showed unto all men, but unto you, and a few like you. Then answered I and said, behold, O Yahweh, now have you showed me the multitude of your wonders, which you will begin to do in the last times. But at what time you have not showed me? He answered me then and said, measure you the time diligently in itself, and when you see the part of the signs pass, which I have told you before, then shall you understand that it is the very same time wherein El Elyon will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars, of the people in the world, then shall you well understand that El-Elyon spoke of those things from the days that were before you, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world has a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of El-Elyon have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by belief, whereby you have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my Yeshua in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. Then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me, and they that have loathed my Torah, while they have yet liberty, and when as yet a place of repentance was opened unto them, understood not, but despised it, the same must know it after death by pain. And therefore be not curious how the wicked shall be punished, and when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is, and for whom the world is created. Then answered I and said, I have said before, and now do speak, and will speak it also hereafter, that there be many more of them which perish, than of them which shall be saved. Like as a wave is greater than a drop. And he said and answered me, saying, like as the field is, so is also the seed. As the flowers be, such are the colors also. Such as the workman is, such also is the work. And as the husbandman is himself, so is his husbandry also. For it was the time of the world, and now, when I prepared the world, which was not yet made, even for them to dwell in that now live, no man spoke against me. For then everyone obeyed, but now the manners of them which are created in this world that is made are corrupted by a perpetual seed, and by a Torah which is unsearchable, rid themselves. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were come into it. And I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of cluster, and a plant of great people. Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept, and my plant, for with great labor I have made it perfect. Nevertheless, if you will seize yet 7 days more, but you shall not fast in them, but go into a field of flowers, where no house is built, and eat only the flowers of the field. Taste no flesh, drink no wine, but eat flowers only. And pray unto El-Elyon continually. Then will I come and talk with you. So I went my way into the field, which is called Arda, like as he commanded me. And there I sat among the flowers, and did eat of the herbs of the field, and the meat of the same satisfied me. After 7 days I sat upon the grass, and my heart was vexed within me, like as before. And I opened my mouth and began to talk before El-Elyon, and said, O Yahweh, you that show yourself unto us, you were showed unto our fathers in the wilderness, in a place where no man treads, in a barren place, when they came out of Mitzrayim. And you spoke, saying, hear me, O Yasharel, and mark my words, you seed of Yaakov. For behold, I sow my Torah in you, and it shall bring forth in you fruit, and you shall be honored in it forever. But our fathers, which received the Torah, kept it not, and observed not your ordinances. And though the fruit of your Torah did not perish, neither could it, for it was yours, yet they that received it perished, because they kept not the thing that was sown in them. And lo, it is a custom, when the ground has received seed, or the sea a ship, or any vessel meat or drink, that being perished wherein it was sown or cast into, that thing also which was sown, or cast therein, or received, perishes, and remains not with us. But with us it has not happened so. For we that have received the Torah perish by sin, and our heart also, which received it, notwithstanding the Torah, perishes not, but remains in his force. And when I spoke these things in my heart, I looked back with my eyes, and upon the right side I saw a woman, and behold, she mourned and wept with a loud voice, and was much grieved in her heart, and her clothes were rent, and she had ashes upon her head. Then I let my thoughts go that I was in, and turned me unto her, and said unto her, Wherefore do you weep? Why are you so grieved in your mind? And she said unto me, Sir, let me alone, that I may bewail myself, and add unto my sorrow. For I am sore vexed in my mind, and brought very low. And I said unto her, What ails you? Tell me. She said unto me, I, your servant, have been barren, and had no child, though I had a man 30 years, and those 30 years I did nothing else day and night, and every hour, but make my prayer to El Elyon. After 30 years Elohim heard me, your handmaid, looked upon my misery, considered my trouble, and gave me a son. And I was very glad of him. So was my man also, and all my neighbors, and we gave great honor unto El Shaddai. And I nourished him with great travail. So when he grew up, and came to the time that he should have a woman, I made a feast. And so it came to pass that when my son was entered into his wedding chamber, he fell down and died. Then we all overthrew the lights, and all my neighbors rose up to comfort me. So I took my rest unto the second day at night. And it came to pass, when they had all left off to comfort me to the end I might be quiet, then I rose up by night and fled, and came hither into the field, as you see. And I do now purpose not to return into the city, but here to stay, and neither to eat nor drink, but continually to mourn and to fast until I die. Then left I the meditations wherein I was, and spoke to her in anger, saying, You foolish woman above all other, see you not our mourning and what has happened unto us? How that Zion our mother is full of all heaviness, and much humbled, mourning very sore. And now, seeing we all mourn and are sad, for we are all in heaviness, are you grieved for one son? For ask the earth, and she shall tell you, that it is she which ought to mourn for the fall of so many that grow upon her. For out of her came all at the first, and out of her shall all others come. And behold, they walk almost all into destruction, and a multitude of them is utterly rooted out. Who then should make more mourning than she, that has lost so great a multitude, and not you, which are sorry but for one? But if you say unto me, My lamentation is not like the earth's, because I have lost the fruit of my womb, which I brought forth with pains and bore with sorrows. But the earth not so, for the multitude present in it according to the course of the earth is gone as it came. Then say I unto you, like as you have brought forth with labor, even so the earth also has given her fruit, namely man, ever since the beginning, unto him that made her. Now therefore keep your sorrow to yourself, and bear with a good courage that which has befallen you. For if you shall acknowledge the determination of Elohim to be just, you shall both receive your son in time, and shall be commended among women. Go your way then into the city to your man. And she said unto me, That will I not do. I will not go into the city, but here will I die. So I proceeded to speak further unto her, and said, Do not so, but be counseled by me. For how many are the adversities of Zion? Be comforted in regard of the sorrow of Yerushalayim. For you see that our sanctuary is laid waste, our altar broken down, our temple destroyed. Our psaltery is laid on the ground, our song is put to silence. Our rejoicing is at an end. The light of the menorah is put out. The ark of the covenant is spoiled. Our holy things are defiled, and the name that is called upon us is almost profaned. Our children are put to shame. Our priests are burnt. Our Leviim are gone into captivity. Our virgins are defiled, and our women ravished. Our righteous men carried away. Our little ones destroyed. Our young men are brought in bondage, and our strong men are become weak. And which is the greatest of all? The seal of Zion has now lost her honor, for she is delivered into the hands of them that hate us. And therefore shake off your great heaviness, and put away the multitude of sorrows, that Al may be merciful unto you again. And Al Elyon shall give you rest and ease from your labor. And it came to pass, while I was talking with her, behold, her face upon a sudden shined exceedingly, and her countenance glistened, so that I was afraid of her, and mused what it might be. And behold, suddenly she made a great cry, very fearful, so that the earth shook at the noise of the woman. And I looked, and behold, the woman appeared unto me no more, but there was a city built, and a large place showed itself from the foundations. Then I was afraid, and cried with a loud voice, and said, Where is Uriel the angel, who came unto me at the first? For he has caused me to fall into many trances, and my end is turned into corruption, and my prayer to rebuke. And as I was speaking these words, behold, he came unto me, and looked upon me, and lo, I lay as one that had been dead, and my understanding was taken from me. And he took me by the right hand, and comforted me, and set me upon my feet, and said to me, What ails you? Why are you so disquieted? And why is your understanding troubled, and the thoughts of your heart? And I said, Because you have forsaken me, and yet I did according to your words. And I went into the field, and lo, I have seen and yet see, that I am not able to express. And he said unto me, Stand up manfully, and I will advise you. Then said I, Speak on, my Adonai, in me, only forsake me not, lest I die frustrate of my hope. For I have seen that I knew not, and hear that I do not know. Or is my sense deceived, or my soul in a dream? Now therefore I beseech you, that you will show your servant of this vision? He answered me then and said, Hear me, and I shall inform you, and tell you wherefore you are afraid. For El-Elyon will reveal many secret things unto you. He has seen that your way is right, for that you sorrow continually for your people, and make great lamentation for Zion. This, therefore, is the meaning of the vision which you lately saw. You saw a woman mourning, and you began to comfort her. But now see you the likeness of the woman no more, but there appeared unto you a city built. And whereas she told you of the death of her son, this is the solution. This woman whom you saw is Zion, and whereas she said unto you, even she whom you see as a city built. Whereas I say, she said unto you, that she has been 30 years barren. Those are the 30 years wherein there was no offering made in her. But after her 30 years, Shammai built the city and offered offerings, and then bore the barren a son. And whereas she told you that she nourished him with labor, that was the dwelling in Jerusalem. But whereas she said unto you, that my son coming into his marriage chamber happened to have a fall and died. This was the destruction that came to Jerusalem. And behold, you saw her likeness, and because she mourned for her son, you began to comfort her. And of these things which have chanced, these are to be opened unto you. For now El-Elyon sees that you are grieved unfeignedly, and suffer from your whole heart for her. So has he showed you the brightness of her glory, and the comeliness of her beauty. And therefore I bade you remain in the field, where no house was built. For I knew that El-Elyon would show this unto you. Therefore I commanded you to go into the field, where no foundation of any building was. For in the place wherein El-Elyon begins to show his city, there can no man's building be able to stand. And therefore fear not, let not your heart be frightened, but go your way in, and see the beauty and greatness of the building, as much as your eyes be able to see. And then shall you hear as much as your ears may comprehend. For you are blessed above many others, and are called with El-Elyon, and so are but few. But tomorrow at night you shall remain here, and so shall El-Elyon show you visions of the high things which El-Elyon will do unto them that dwell upon the earth in the last days. So I slept that night, and another, like as he commanded me.
Then saw I a dream, and behold, there came up from the sea an eagle, which had 12 feathered wings and 3 heads. And I saw, and behold, she spread her wings over all the earth, and all the winds of the air blew on her, and were gathered together. And I beheld, and out of her feathers there grew other contrary feathers, and they became little feathers and small. But her heads were at rest. The head in the midst was greater than the other, yet rested it with the remnant. Moreover I beheld, and lo, the eagle flew with her feathers, and reigned upon the earth, and over them that dwelt therein. And I saw that all things under heaven were subject unto her, and no man spoke against her, no, not one creature upon the earth. And I beheld, and lo, the eagle rose upon her talons, and spoke to her feathers, saying, Watch not all at once, sleep everyone in his own place, and watch by course, but let the heads be preserved for the last. And I beheld, and lo, the voice went not out of her heads, but from the midst of her body. And I numbered her contrary feathers, and behold, there were 8 of them. And I looked, and behold, on the right side there arose 1 feather, and reigned over all the earth. And so it was, that when it reigned, the end of it came, and the place thereof appeared no more. So the next following stood up and reigned, and had a great time. And it happened, that when it reigned, the end of it came also, like as the first, so that it appeared no more. Then there came a voice unto it, and said, Hear you that have borne rule over the earth so long. This I say unto you, before you begin to appear no more, there shall none after you attain unto your time, neither unto the half thereof. Then arose the third, and reigned also as the other before, and appeared no more also. So went it with all the remnant, one after another, as that everyone reigned, and then appeared no more. Then I beheld, and lo, in process of time, the feathers that followed stood up upon the right side, that they might rule also. And some of them ruled, but within a while they appeared no more. For some of them were set up, but ruled not. After this I looked, and behold, the 12 feathers appeared no more, nor the 2 little feathers. And there was no more upon the eagle's body, but 3 heads that rested, and 6 little wings. Then saw I also the 2 little feathers divided themselves from the 6, and remained under the head that was upon the right side. For the 4 continued in their place. And I beheld, and lo, the feathers that were under the wing thought to set up themselves, and to have the rule. And I beheld, and lo, there was one set up, but shortly it appeared no more. And the second was sooner away than the first. And I beheld, and lo, the 2 that remained thought also in themselves to reign. And when they so thought, behold, there awakened one of the heads that were at rest, namely, it was in the midst, for that was greater than the 2 other heads. And then I saw that the 2 other heads were joined with it. And behold, the head was turned with them that were with it, and did eat up the 2 feathers under the wing that would have reigned. But this head put the whole earth in fear, and bore rule in it over all those that dwelt upon the earth with much oppression. And it had the government of the world more than all the wings that had been. And after this I beheld, and lo, the head that was in the midst suddenly appeared no more, like as the wings. But there remained the 2 heads, which also in like sort ruled upon the earth, and over those that dwelt therein. And I beheld, and lo, the head upon the right side devoured it that was upon the left side. Then I heard a voice, which said unto me, Look before you, and consider the thing that you see. And I beheld, and lo, as it were a roaring lion, chased out of the wood. And I saw that he that sent out a man's voice unto the eagle, and said, Here, I will talk with you, and El Elyon shall say unto you, Are not you it that remain of the 4 living creatures, whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times may come through them? And the fourth came, and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression. And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit. For the earth have you not judged with truth, for you have afflicted the meek, you have hurt the peaceable, you have loved liars, and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and have cast down the walls of such as did you no harm. Therefore is your wrongful dealing come up unto El Elyon, and your pride unto El. El Elyon also has looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled. And therefore appear no more, you eagle, nor you horrible wings, nor you wicked feathers, nor your malicious heads, nor your hurtful claws, nor all your vain body, that all the earth may be refreshed and may return, being delivered from your violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her. And it came to pass, and behold, the head that remained and the four wings appeared no more. And the two went unto it and set themselves up to reign, and their kingdom was small and full of uproar. And I saw, and behold, they appeared no more, and the whole body of the eagle was burnt, so that the earth was in great fear. Then awakened I out of the trouble and trance of my mind, and from great fear, and said unto my ruach, Lo, this have you done unto me, in that you search out the ways of El Elyon. Lo, yet I am weary in my mind, and very weak in my ruach, and little strength is there in me, for the great fear with which I was afflicted this night. Therefore will I now beseech El Elyon, that he will comfort me unto the end. And I said, Yahweh Adonai, if I have found grace before your sight, and if I am justified with you before many others, and if my prayer indeed come up before your face, comfort me then, and show me your servant the interpretation and plain difference of this fearful vision, that you may perfectly comfort my soul. For you have judged me worthy to show me the last times. And he said unto me, This is the interpretation of the vision. The eagle whom you saw come up out of the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of your brother Daniel. But it was not expounded unto him. Therefore now I declare it unto you. Behold, the days will come that there shall rise up a kingdom upon the earth, and it shall be feared above all the kingdoms that were before it. In the same shall 12 kings reign, one after another, whereof the second shall begin to reign, and shall have more time than any of the 12. And this do the 12 wings signify, which you saw. As for the voice which you heard speak, and that you saw not to go out from the heads, but from the midst of the body thereof, this is the interpretation, that after the time of the kingdom there shall arise great strivings, and it shall stand in peril of failing. Nevertheless, it shall not then fall, but shall be restored again to his beginning. And whereas you saw the 8 small under feathers sticking to her wings, this is the interpretation, that in him there shall arise 8 kings, whose times shall be but small, and their years swift. And 2 of them shall perish, the middle time approaching. 4 shall be kept until their end begin to approach, but 2 shall be kept unto the end. And whereas you saw 3 heads resting, this is the interpretation. In the last days shall El Elyon raise up 3 kingdoms, and renew many things therein, and they shall have the dominion of the earth, and of those that dwell therein, with much oppression, above all those that were before them. Therefore are they called the heads of the eagle. For these are they that shall accomplish his wickedness, and that shall finish his last end. And whereas you saw that the great head appeared no more, it signifies that one of them shall die upon his bed, and yet with pain. For the 2 that remain shall be slain with the sword. For the sword of the one shall devour the other, but at the last shall he fall through the sword himself. And whereas you saw 2 feathers under the wings, passing over the head that is on the right side, it signifies that these are they whom El Elyon has kept unto the end. This is the small kingdom, and full of trouble, as you saw. And the lion whom you saw rising up out of the wood, and roaring and speaking to the eagle, and rebuking her for her unrighteousness, with all the words which you have heard. This is the anointed, which El Elyon has kept for them, and for their wickedness unto the end. He shall reprove them, and shall upbraid them with their cruelty. For he shall set them before him alive in judgment, and shall rebuke them and correct them. For the rest of my people shall he deliver with mercy, those that have been pressed upon my borders, and he shall make them joyful until the coming of the day of judgment, whereof I have spoken unto you from the beginning. This is the dream that you saw, and these are the interpretations. You only have been meet to know the secret of El Elyon. Therefore, write all these things that you have seen in a sefer, and hide them, and teach them to the wise of the people, whose hearts you know may comprehend and keep these secrets. But wait here yourself yet 7 days more, that it may be showed to you whatsoever it pleases El Elyon to declare unto you. And with that he went his way, and it came to pass, when all the people saw that the 7 days were past, and I did not come again unto the city, they gathered them all together, from the least unto the greatest, and came unto me and said, What have we offended you, and what evil have we done against you, that you forsake us, and sit here in this place? For of all the prophets, you only are left us, as a cluster of the vintage, and as a candle in a dark place, and as a haven or ship preserved from the tempest. Are not the evils which are come to us sufficient? If you shall forsake us, how much better had it been for us if we also had been burned in the midst of Zion? For we are not better than they that died there. And they wept with a loud voice. Then answered I them and said, Be of good comfort, O Yasharal, and be not heavy, you house of Yaakov. For El Elyon has you in remembrance, and El has not forgotten you in temptation. As for me, I have not forsaken you, neither am I departed from you, but am come into this place to pray for the desolation of Zion, and that I might seek mercy for the low estate of your sanctuary. And now go your way home, every man, and after these days I will come unto you. So the people went their way into the city, like as I commanded them. But I remained still in the field 7 days, as the angel commanded me, and did eat only in those days of the flowers of the field, and had my meat of the herbs. And it came to pass, after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that had moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that a man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth fails when it feels the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men, out of number, from the four winds of the heaven, to subdue the man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the regional place whereout the hills was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and dared fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his head, nor held a sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he set out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Afterwards saw I the same man come down from the mountain, and call unto him another peaceable multitude. And there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, some were sorry, and some of them were bound, and other some brought of them that were offered. Then I was sick through great fear, and I awakened and said, You have showed your servant these wonders from the beginning, and have counted me worthy, that you should receive my prayer. Show me now yet the interpretation of this dream. For as I conceive in my understanding, woe unto them that shall be left in those days, and much more woe unto them that are not left behind. For they that were not left were in heaviness. Now understand I the things that are laid up in the latter days, which shall happen unto them, and to those that are left behind. Therefore are they come into great perils and many necessities, like as these dreams declare. Yet it is easier for him that is in danger to come into these things than to pass away as a cloud out of the world, and not to see the things that happen in the last days. And he answered unto me and said, The interpretation of the vision shall I show you, and I will open up unto you the thing that you have required. Whereas you have spoken of them that are left behind, this is the interpretation. He that shall endure the peril in that time has kept himself. They that be fallen into danger are such as have works and belief toward El Shaddai. Know this therefore, that they which be left behind are more blessed than they that be dead. This is the meaning of the vision. Whereas you saw a man coming up from the midst of the sea, the same is he whom El Elyon has kept a great season, which by his own self shall deliver his creature, and he shall order them that are left behind. And whereas you saw that out of his mouth there came as a blast of wind, and fire and storm, and that he held neither sword nor any instrument of war, but that the rushing in of him destroyed the whole multitude that came to subdue him. This is the interpretation. Behold, the days come when El Elyon will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the sign shall happen, which I showed you before. And then shall my Son be declared, whom you saw as a man ascending. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another. And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as you saw them, willing to come and to overcome him by fighting. But he shall stand upon the top of the Mount Zion, and Zion shall come and shall be showed to all men, being prepared and built, like as you saw the hill graven without hands. And this my Son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest, and shall lay before them their evil thoughts and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame, and he shall destroy them without labor by the Torah, which is like unto me. And whereas you saw that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, those are the 10 tribes, which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Husha the king, whom Shalmaneser the king of Ashur led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt, that they might there guard their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into Perat by the narrow places of the river. For El Elyon then showed signs for them, and held still the flood, till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of 1.5 years, and the same region is called Azaret. Then dwelt they there until the latter time, and now, when they shall begin to come, El Elyon shall stay the springs of the stream again, that they may go through. Therefore saw you the multitude with peace. But those that be left behind of your people are they that are found within my borders. Now when he destroys the multitude of the nations that are gathered together, he shall defend his people that remain, and then shall he show them great wonders. Then said I, O Yahweh Adonai, show me this. Wherefore have I seen the man coming up from the midst of the sea? And he said unto me, like as you can neither seek out nor know the things that are in the deep of the sea, even so can no man upon the earth see my Son or those that be with him, but in the daytime. This is the interpretation of the dream which you saw, and whereby you only are here lightened. For you have forsaken your own way, and applied your diligence unto my Torah, and sought it. Your life have you ordered in wisdom, and have called understanding your mother. And therefore have I showed you the treasures of Al-Elyon. After another 3 days, I will speak other things unto you, and declare unto you mighty and wondrous things. Then went I forth into the field, giving praise and thanks greatly unto Al-Elyon, because of his wonders which he did in time, and because he governs the same, and such things as fall in their seasons. And there I sat 3 days. And it came to pass upon the 3rd day, I sat under an oak, and behold, there came a voice out of the bush over against me, and said, Ezra, Ezra. And I said, Here I am, Yahweh. And I stood up upon my feet. Then he said unto me, In the thorn bush I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moshe, and talked with him when my people served in Mitzrayim. And I sent him and led my people out of Mitzrayim, and brought him up to the mount of where I held him by me a long season, and told him many wondrous things, and showed him the secrets of the times and the end, and commanded him, saying, These words shall you declare, and these shall you hide. And now I say unto you, that you lay up your heart the signs that I have showed, and the dreams which you have seen, and the interpretations which you have heard. For you shall be taken away from all, and from henceforth you shall remain with my Son, and with such as be like you, until the times be ended. For the world has lost its youth, and the times begin to wax old. For the world is divided into 12 parts, and the 10 parts of it are gone already, and half of a 10th part, and there remains that which is after the half of the 10th part. Now therefore set your house in order, and reprove your people, comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. Let go from you mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto you, and haste you to flee from these times. For yet greater evils than those which you have seen happen shall be done hereafter. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. For the time is fled far away, and falsehood is hard at hand. For now hasten the vision to come, which you have seen. Then answered I before you and said, Behold, Yahweh, I will go, as you have commanded me, and reprove the people which are present. But they that shall be born afterward, who shall admonish them? Thus the world is set in darkness, and they that dwell therein are without light. For your Torah is burnt. Therefore no man knows the things that are done of you, or the work that shall begin. But if I have found grace before you, send the Ruach HaKodesh into me, and I shall write all that has been done in the world since the beginning, which were written in your Torah, that men may find your path, and that they which will live in the latter days may live. And he answered me, saying, Go your way, gather the people together, and say unto them, that they seek you not for 40 days. But look, prepare you many box trees, and take with you Sariah, Dabria, Shelemiahu, Aithan, and Asiel, these 5 which are ready to write swiftly. And come hither, and I shall light a candle of understanding in your heart, which shall not be put out, till the things be performed, which you shall begin to write. And when you have done, some things shall you publish, and some things shall you show secretly to the wise. Tomorrow this hour shall you begin to write. Then went I forth as he commanded, and gathered all the people together, and said, Hear these words, O Yasharel. Our fathers at the beginning were strangers in Mitzrayim, from whence they were delivered, and received the Torah of life, which they kept not, which you also have transgressed after them. Then the land, even the land of Zion, parted among you by lot. But your fathers and you yourselves have done unrighteousness, and have not kept the ways which El Elyon commanded you. And forasmuch as he is a righteous judge, he took from you in time the thing that he had given you. And now are you here, and your brethren among you. Therefore, if so be that you will subdue your own understanding and reform your hearts, you shall be kept alive, and after death you shall obtain mercy. For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again, and then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the wicked shall be declared. Let no man therefore come unto me now, nor seek after me these 40 days. So I took the 5 men, as he commanded me, and we went into the field, and remained there. And the next day, behold, a voice called me, saying, Ezra, open your mouth, and drink that I give you to drink. Then opened I my mouth, and behold, he reached me a full cup, which was full as it were with water, but the color of it was like fire. And I took it and drank, and when I had drunk of it, my heart uttered understanding, and wisdom grew in my breast, for my ruach strengthened my memory, and my mouth was opened and shut no more. El Elyon gave understanding unto the 5 men, and they wrote the wonderful visions of the night that were told, which they knew not. And they sat 40 days, and they wrote in the day, and at night they ate bread. As for me, I spoke in the day, and I held not my tongue by night. In 40 days they wrote 94 Sepharim. And it came to pass, when the 40 days were filled, that El Elyon spoke again, saying, The first that you have written, publish openly, that the worthy and unworthy may read it. But keep the 70 last, that you may deliver them only to such as be wise among the people. For in them is the spring of understanding, the fountain of wisdom, and the stream of knowledge. And I did so. Behold, speak in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in your mouth, says Yahweh, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against you. Let not the incredulity of them trouble you that speak against you. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, says Yahweh, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore, says Yahweh, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things, in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood cries unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And therefore, says Yahweh, I will surely avenge them, and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Mitzrayim, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Mitzrayim with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Mitzrayim shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with a plague and punishment that El-Elyon Elohim shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seeds shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draws nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. For because of their pride, and the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with a sword, and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation. Behold, says Elohim, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Lebanon, to turn themselves one against another, and repay the things that they have done to them. Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, so will I also do, and recompense in their bosom. Thus says Yahweh Elohim, my right hand shall not spare the sinners, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. The fire is gone forth from his wrath, and has consumed the foundations of the earth, and the sinners like the straw that is kindled. Woe to them that sin and guard not my commandments, says Yahweh. I will not spare them. Go your way, you children, from the power, defile not my sanctuary. For Yahweh knows all them that sin against him, and therefore delivers he them unto death and destruction. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and you shall remain in them, for Elohim shall not deliver you, because you have sinned against him. Behold a horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arav shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Also the Carmanians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come, and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of Ashur. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. And if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them, then these shall be troubled bled, and kept silence through their power, and shall flee. And from the land of Ashur shall the enemy besiege them, and consume some of them, and in their host shall be fear and dread, and strife among their kings. Behold, clouds from the east and from the north unto the south, and they are very horrible to look upon, full of wrath and storm. They shall smite one upon another, and they shall smite down a great multitude of stars upon the earth, even their own star, and blood shall be from the sword unto the belly, and dung of men unto the camel's howl. And there shall be great fearfulness and trembling upon earth, and they that see the wrath shall be afraid, and trembling shall come upon them. And then shall there come great storms from the south, and from the north, and another part from the west. And strong winds shall arise from the east, and shall open it, and the cloud which he raised up in wrath, and the star stirred to cause fear toward the east and west wind, shall be destroyed. The great and mighty clouds shall be puffed up, full of wrath, and the star, that they may make all the earth afraid, and them that dwell therein. And they shall pour out over every high and eminent place a horrible star, fire and hail and flying swords and many waters, that all fields may be full, and all rivers with the abundance of great waters. And they shall break down the cities and walls, mountains and hills, trees of the wood, and grass of the meadows, and their grain. And they shall go in steadfastly unto Babel, and make her afraid. They shall come to her, and besiege her. The star and all wrath shall they pour out upon her. Then shall the dust and the smoke go up unto the heaven, and all they that be about her shall bewail her. And they that remain under her shall do service unto them that have put her in fear. And you, Asia, that are partaker of the hope of Babel, and are the glory of her person, woe be unto you, you wretch, because you have made yourself like unto her, and have decked your daughters in whoredom, that they might please and glory in your lovers, which have always desired to commit whoredom with you. You have followed her that is hated in all her works and inventions. Therefore says Elohim, I will send plagues upon you, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste your houses with destruction and death. And the glory of your power shall be dried up as a flower, and the heat shall arise that is sent over you. You shall be weakened as a poor woman with stripes, and as one chastised with wounds, so that the mighty and lovers shall not be able to receive you. Woe, I with jealousy have so proceeded against you, says Yahweh. If you had not always slain my chosen, exalting the stroke of your hands, and saying over their dead, when you were drunken, set forth the beauty of your countenance, the reward of your whoredom shall be in your bosom. Therefore shall you receive recompense. Like as you have done unto my chosen, says Yahweh, even so shall Elohim do unto you, and shall deliver you into mischief. Your children shall die of hunger, and you shall fall through the sword. Your cities shall be broken down, and all yours shall perish with the sword in the field. They that be in the mountains shall die of hunger, and eat their own flesh, and drink their own blood. For very hunger of bread and thirst of water. You as unhappy shall come through the sea, and receive plagues again, and in the passage they shall rush on the idle city, and shall destroy some portion of your land, and consume part of your glory, and shall return to Babel that was destroyed. And you shall be cast down by them as stubble, and they shall be unto you as fire, and shall consume you and your cities, your land and your mountains. All your woods and your fruitful trees shall they burn up with fire. Your children shall they carry away captive, and look, what you have, they shall spoil it, and mar the beauty of your face. Woe be unto you, Babel, and Asia! Woe be unto you, Mizraim and Aram! Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children, and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood? Or may anyone quench the fire in stubble when it has begun to burn? May one turn against the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? El-Yahweh sends the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? Yahweh shall threaten, and who shall not utterly be beaten to powder at his presence? The earth quakes, and the foundations thereof. The sea arises up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fish thereof also, before Yahweh, and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bends the bow, his arrows that he shoots are sharp, and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returns not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. Woe is me! Woe is me! Who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon the earth, that they shall think themselves to be in a good case, and even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other, that escape the hunger, shall the sword destroy. And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. For the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. There shall be no man left to till the earth, and to sow it. The trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? The grapes shall ripen, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men, so that one man shall desire to see another, and to hear his voice. For of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rocks. As in an orchard of olives, upon every tree there are left 3 or 4 olives. Or as when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through the vineyard. Even so in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword. And the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel therethrough. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no men. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their men shall perish of famine. Hear now these things, and understand them, you servants of Yahweh. Behold, the word of Yahweh, receive it. Believe not the Elohim of whom Yahweh spoke. Behold, the plagues draw nigh, and are not slack. As when a woman with child in the 9th month brings forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child comes forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrows shall come upon it on every side. O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to your battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. He that sells, let him be as he that flees away, and he that buys, as one that will lose. He that occupies merchandise, as he that has no profit by it, and he that builds, as he that shall not dwell therein. He that sows, as if he should not reap. So also he that plants the vineyard, as he that shall not gather the grapes. They that marry, as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not, as the widowers. And therefore they that labor in vain, for strangers shall reap their fruits, and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses, and take their children captives. For in captivity and famine shall they get children. And they that occupy their merchandise with robbery, the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons, the more will I be angry with them for their sin, says Yahweh. Like as a whore envies a right, honest, and virtuous woman, so shall righteousness hate iniquity when she decks herself, and shall accuse her to her face when he comes that shall defend him that diligently searches out every sin upon the earth. And therefore be you not like thereunto, nor to the works thereof, for yet a little, and iniquity shall be taken away out of the earth, and righteousness shall reign among you. Let not the sinner say that he has not sinned, for Elohim shall burn coals of fire upon his head, which says before Yahweh Elohim and his glory, I have not sinned. Behold, Yahweh knows all the works of men, their imaginations, their thoughts, and their hearts, which spoke but the word, let the earth be made, and it was made. Let the heaven be made, and it was created. In his word were the stars made, and he knows the number of them. He searches the deep and the treasures thereof. He has measured the sea and what it contains. He has shut the sea in the midst of the waters, and with his words he hanged the earth upon the waters. He spreads out the heavens like a vault. Upon the waters he has founded it. In the desert has he made springs of water and pools upon the tops of mountains, that the floods might pour down from the high rocks to water the earth. He made man and put his heart in the midst of the body, and gave him breath, life, and understanding. Yea, and the Ruach El Shaddai, which made all things and searches out all hidden things in the secrets of the earth. Surely he knows your inventions and what you think in your hearts, even them that sin and would hide their sin. Therefore has Yahweh exactly searched out all your works, and he will put you all to shame. And when your sins are brought forth, you shall be ashamed before men, and your own sins shall be your accusers in that day. What will you do? Or how will you hide your sins before Elohim and his angels? Behold, Elohim himself is the judge. Fear him. Leave off from your sins and forget your iniquities, to meddle no more with them forever. So shall Elohim lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you, and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision, and in reproach, and trodden under foot. For there shall be in every place, and in the next cities, a great insurrection upon those that fear Yahweh. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear Yahweh. For they shall waste and take away their goods, and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known, who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. Hear, O you my beloved, says Yahweh. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Be you not afraid, neither doubt, for Elohim is your guide, and the guide of them who guard my commandments and precepts, says Yahweh Elohim. Let not your sins weigh you down. Let not your iniquities lift up themselves. Woe be unto them that are bound with their sins and covered with their iniquities, like as a field is covered over with bushes, and the path thereof covered with thorns, that no man may travel through. It is left undressed, and is cast into the fire, to be consumed therewith.